This is Lingli from China Mobile. I'm very glad to be here. And I plan to give you something about China Mobile's practice in autonomous network. First, actually, I would like to give you the content is divided in 3 sections. This industrial status based on autonomous network, and then we'll delve into China Mobile's practice. So since Tian Forum first proposed an autonomous network concept in 2019, its industrial attention and collaborative participation have been continuously increased and has become a hot topic of digital transformation of telecommunication networks. And especially in China, the 3 top operators in the region all set for a very clear goal to reach level 4 autonomous network by 2025, that is in 3 years. And we all actively promote the corresponding planning, proof of concepts, trials, applications, and promotion of this new autonomous network concept. And globally, according to the latest survey report released recently by Tian Forum, autonomous network transformation is also becoming an industrial consensus from a global picture. And related industrial collaboration is expected to be further accelerated in the next 3 to 5 years. And the survey was conducted by Tian Forum with some of the leading operators and all of its membership. And the interviewed operators taking this survey, in their response, are all very share their expectations and confidence in the future development of this concept of autonomous network. And so from the perspective of the overall industrial status, we believe that the development of autonomous network also faces several challenges in the same time, such as low operational efficiency, lack of practical experience, and API standards are still need to be enhanced for its full realization. So first of all, about the lack of practical verification. So the survey shows that over 50% of the respondents says that they are lacking practical verification of how these concepts gets realized in production. And so, some of them are still very pessimistic about the realization of this concept. And second, perhaps the biggest challenge for this one is that actually it involves a parallel evolution for several layers of network management of the telecom networks. And it is not that well accepted which way to go, whether or not we go in the traditional network-centered way of doing this, or should we go, like doing cross-layer collaboration, and which layer should be the center, and which should follow which. They're still lacking consensus on the methodology, the general methodology. And I will show you the China Mobile's thinking and practice, and especially in this way, later. And lastly, the most important, the core standards, such as API-related key technologies, reference architecture and capability evaluation, which are all critical to the wide adoption of autonomous networks, have not yet reached industrial consensus. So in particular, there is no consensus on whether to introduce new APIs or just enhance existing APIs for those cross-layer API evolution. And this is actually the key to the core strategies for operators' realization in this direction. So to summarize the first section of our quick overview, from the analysis of all parties, the transformation of autonomous network has becoming a quite phenomenon in the recent years. And related applications and collaboration of the industry will be accelerated shortly. And China's 3 leading CSPs service providers, having set their clear goals and have been taking rapid actions and showing some of the effective results, have become the pioneers of the autonomous networks industrial collaboration. While on the other hand, from the perspective of the overall situation of the industry, the development of autonomous networks still faces challenges. Therefore, in the second part, I would like to share with you some of China Mobile's practices, and hopefully that we could address those challenges together. So in particular, I'll touch on 3 parts: capability structure, evaluation standards, and what we have been doing with industrial collaboration. First of all, we believe that autonomous networks vision and goals are embodied as zero-touch customer experience, as well as automation and autonomy from the perspective of network operation and maintenance. So the OEM are the key to realize this concept. And so as a result, it is the core strategy for operators to achieve digital and intelligent network transformation, to reduce costs, increase efficiency, improve quality, and generate revenue. So how to realize this concept? From our perspective, in order to meet customer needs and realize business value, in our visionary architecture, the customer intents are mapped into corresponding cross-domain business closed loops, and then continue to be decomposed into single-domain resource closed loops. In other words, the digital and intelligent capabilities of network elements, the operating management center, and the OSS level, which stands for the operation and support system levels, are all relevant to accumulately achieve single-domain autonomy and cross-domain collaboration in this visionary architecture view. And from China Mobile, our autonomous network capability architecture covers the entire life cycle of the network. And based on the framework of 6 domains for operation and management, including network planning, construction, maintenance, optimization, operation, and also on the bottom, as you can see, inventory management, which dealing with our assets management from the network and also the IT domain. And the final, we refine this framework from these 6 domains and 11 core scenarios for OAM capabilities. And further, 37 tasks are identified as the foundations to be improved with automation and intelligent technologies in order to achieve the goal. And then over 200 subtasks are further specified in the context for specific network technology and services dimensions as our target for autonomy capability building. So this whole forms a framework. So starting from the very bottom layer, the building automation and intelligent operation and maintenance capabilities of the network elements are key to achieve presentable, high, reliable, and self-optimization goals. On the other hand, it also strengthens the deep perception of its own components within the network element, its operating status, and achieve high reliability on its own as a single node. And from another perspective, it is also expected to open up automated operation capabilities, such as in terms of software development, data configuration, network testing, etc. The next level is for network element management, or what we call OMC system level. It realizes data collection, operation, capability, and capitalization of a large-scale network elements, typically from a single vendor, which actually effectively shields the internal function implementation details and data models from different providers, And also from other side, it opens up standardized data and operation interfaces so that we can build our OSS capabilities on the top. The third layer, which is the key in our practice, is the network management system, which deals with the end-to-end cross-domain and also multi-manufacturing case with the building capabilities of network elements and OMCs from the device manufacturers. The end-to-end systems actually is shifting its form in the recent years in China Mobile. As you can see from it, our network management systems actually realizes process integration, data sharing, capability exposure and exchange, and AI intelligence through the 2 platforms in the middle and the 5 operation and maintenance capability centers on the top, which together, these 7 core systems are actually providing all the common capabilities and support to the various domain-specific network OEM systems in the bottom. And the next, I will talk about the valuation, which is actually, we think is also key to drive this industrial collaboration, because it deals with the problem how to effectively evaluate whether the equipment or the network elements and systems from different solution providers actually meet our requirements. So to start with, TM4 has formulated guiding principles for automation capability levels from level 0 to level 5, in which system the level 4 is our common target to get by in 3 years. And in this evaluation guiding principle, for execution, perception, analysis, decision-making, and end-to-end experience, 4 types of closed-loop links are divided into different levels according to the degree of automation, from completely manual maintenance to partial automation, and finally to the level of full autonomous level. So inspired by this guiding principle, China Mobile actually practicing in a systematic way of doing this evaluation, and it is actually composed of 2-way guidance for software, both software and hardware system capability building, and also the end-to-end business results in practice. So we established the framework of our evaluation, actually composed of technology maturity levels as well as application effectiveness indicators. So these 2 are actually forming the basis for our evaluation. So I talk into details. So first of all, the system technology capability dimension, which is based on TM4's capability framework, but we actually revised the definitions and specifications that was required for each of the level. So as you can see, that we are requiring or dictating on the basis of enhancing the comprehensiveness of the system records at level 1, which means that all the manual work, despite that they are carried out by human, but it has corresponding online digital records in the system so that it can be tracked, it can be analyzed, and it can be improved and optimized in the later phase. And from level 2 to level 5, the flexibility, agility, and especially adaptability to changes of the system's digital, intelligent operation and maintenance capabilities are getting stronger and stronger. In addition, it needs to also to be noted that because different systems are in different tasks of the potential closed loops that are essential to realize this concept, the target levels of different technical capabilities are also different for those different tasks. We differentiate the evaluation and also for the evolution goals of the 37 types of core capabilities and set the highest levels respectively according to their type of task as the target. So for example, the highest goal of operation execution and process scheduling is level 3 instead of level 5. And the highest goal of introducing intelligent technology is level 4. So in this way, the relevant system suppliers in each task can be guided to clearly position themselves for mutual collaboration, because in the end, they have to form a closed loop altogether. So it is important for them to understand exactly which are their goals in the specific context so that they can collaborate. And we could be or benefit from this collaboration. And in another dimension, which is the business performance indicator or effectiveness indicator. So this is actually talking about the measurements of the effectiveness of applying those automation and intelligent technologies into the production network. And over 20 performance indicators have been developed inside China Mobile, and we are expecting more to come in the coming years when we are actually progressing in this journey. So this set of indicators are actually measuring the end-to-end effectiveness of these technologies in production. So lastly, in terms of ecology construction, China Mobile's autonomous network projects actually follows another closed-loop manner, which is composed of industrial collaboration, top-level design, construction and application, and then the capability evaluation and analysis. So this is like an annual closed loop that we will be doing every year and for this journey. And we have been successfully completed the first cycle last year and achieved considerable effects. So this is a continued practice. And as you can see that the industry collaboration forms a very important first step of the closed loop approach from China Mobile. So we have been involving in the industry collaboration in the first place, and also are quite, and also leading the practice in production. There has been some of the white papers we have been working both with Dianforum and also very much focused on how to apply these theoretical visionary concept into the world's most largest scale and most complicated networks in the world. And for the future, we will would like to share with our partners in the industry what we have gained from what we have learned from our practices, and also what we see is still missing for the industry collaboration, so that we can face the challenges together, continue to contribute from the practical experience side, and also to improve collaborative evolution together, promote standards and open source collaboration, so that we can all moving forward to this journey from automation to autonomy. And that's all for my presentation. I think we still get time for questions. So any questions that I can take from the floor? Yeah, please. Sebastian.
Sebastian from Deutsche Telekom. You were talking about the closed loop on the OEC layer. And we in the team, we had some difficulties of getting real-time data out of that OEC layer. Did you see the same? In order to form the closed loop on the layer on top, the MMS, and it didn't matter which one of the different I'm talking about, right? we wanted to have clearly some more streaming-like type of data. And do you see that as a problem, or didn't you even encounter that problem?
This is a problem. This is a real problem. And we have been pushing also our vendors to actually adding that real-time collection capability for years. But I think the problem here may be it's like what you can gain from that data. A lot of data that we gained from the OMC systems, because they are lacking like real-timeness. So it's not getting timely. And so that data in large volume that we get from the higher level, we actually abandon them. So in order to, how can I put it, to actually absorb value from that data, we need real-time data feed in. So perhaps this is also needs collaboration between vendors and operators. Vendors are reluctant to provide data to operators, and operators are actually lacking the data resources to do further analysis. There's also discussions about, what types of closed loops needs to be realized inside LMC, and which types of closed loops should be realized outside LMC and from the end-to-end level. So we believe that perhaps we can more like getting into progress with a case-by-case step or manner. So in the autonomous network, we have fast closed loops, which means that the analysis and decision-making needs to be taken in a very timely fashion. In that way, due to the lack of realness of the northbound interface of LMC, those closed loops has to happen, and in the very bottom layer. But however, those closed loops are actually lacking feedbacks also from the outside world, from the end-to-end, and also from the upper systems guidance. So there might be a balance between this. So perhaps there should be an online real-time closed loop, but it should also receive guidance and monitoring from the upper side, from the more centralized manner. So in TN Forum and also in China Mobile, we are building this platform, as you can see. We have two platforms. The first one is data sharing platforms. This is the basis also for the general technology platforms. Here, we try to collect all the data that was individually collected by each of the system in the OAM domain, but this serves as the single data source for all the rest of the analysis on top of OMC, but it also collects the OMC data. And for some domains, for example, the CDN domain and some of the simple device domains, we collect data directly from the device. So in those domains, we can collect real-time data. But in order to improve this interoperability also with OMC data collection, I think we need more standardization in 3GPP and also perhaps some pioneering proofs of concepts from open source communities could also serve that purpose. So to prove that it is working in some way, so that we can extend that interface. And here, this platform actually is also our AI and CI/CD platform. So this capability is actually entirely extensively dependent on the data collected for the OAM system.
Thank you. And again, I think we need to, as service providers, voice ourselves.
Yeah.
Collaborate with the vendors to improve the situation.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm Sark from Health Technologies. Just want to share one context, right? The thing is this, when you talk about TMF or other initiatives and the approach towards automation, right? Many of the things have been standardized or agreed upon on the north side, right? And when it comes to the southbound, right, how you actually ingest the data from the end devices, right? In this case, can be a compute infrastructure. Things are not well defined. I just want to take up you, right, whether you should do gRPC, whether you should REST or other event telemetry, right? but the way really what Celestine shared, right? The way I think to address that is to take a use case approach, right? Because ultimately, if you, I mean, this is an architecture where you just get one data set and you can run everything, it's impossible, right? And I am more curious to know, based on your experience, right, if you can share like when you list down all those, what are the like early success or use cases you have achieved with this, and what you are looking, let's say, in 12 or 18 months time. So,
Right. I think that I agree with you that, we are now working mostly northbound. And the reason for that is that we believe that the IT system actually evolves much, much more quickly or rapidly, responsively to our requirements instead of city network devices. So this is why we invest, on the top levels to start with. But right now, why we are actually bringing this industry collaboration into our whole closed loop is because that we need the bottom layer network infrastructures to actually cooperate with this overall goal. So they need to be more opened up and collaborate to build these closed loops together, which is more closed loops together. We are now actually in the phase of establishing our own enterprise specifications of this approach. And we are also, we established the framework last year. And starting from this year, we are coping with different network technology domains to further refine the specifications and requirements in terms of specific use cases. Some coming from the mobile networks domain and some coming from the fixed network domain and some from the IDC or telecom cloud. And we will be releasing our second white paper in December. And there are like 20 different use cases included in that in that white paper. And it's kind of like advertisement for our company, but we also will be publishing a TN foreign asset, which number is IG1218B. You can write that down to be published as an English version for China Mobile's practices in autonomous network. So it will also include those use cases as well. So that will embody our requirements for the network infrastructure's evolution as well as the operating and maintenance levels on the top.
yeah, so the way we understand it, what you shared, same architecture across core and edge. I mean, are you targeting this because in closed loop, so I assume it should cover all domains, right? It is not limited to just core. Like when we talk about OMC, it is not just the core, right? You expect the same architecture can be applied across, let's say, in few years' time or on edge networks.
Yeah. So the 5 domains that we identified and targeted for 2025 are actually including radio, core, network cloud, and also transport network and IP network. So it actually touches all the major domains. Mm-hmm. So no more questions? And thank you for your time and attention.